Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Jea and JP's Vidcast, a series of video podcasts designed to disrupt your current ways of thinking and breathe new perspectives into your life.
Last week, we asked you to examine the challenging situations that you've faced over the past week or two and invited you to really look critically at if the ways that you responded to those situations aligned with your best self, the things that you love about yourself.
So what we're going to do this week is we're going to take that one step further and introduce the concept of awareness and reflection. When we reflect back on those situations and those moments where we ask ourselves, did I actually show up with my best self? That's a critical moment that we can say, did I actually show up with my best self? And more importantly, we can look at those actions and say, well, what did my actions actually communicate about me?
Maybe my actions say something about myself?
I mean, maybe. Just a little bit.
Oh, time to reflect.
I know, time to reflect.
Bring my best self to this life. So these guided reflections that we're going to share with you are things that JP and I designed so that you can refer to them anytime that you encounter a challenging situation with a boss, with a friend, with a loved one, with a neighbor, with a community partner. And so bookmark this page so that you can revisit these reflective questions as often as necessary. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Question 1. Why do I desire to respond differently in the future?
And that's a very important question because whatever that answer is going to drive your direction and drive your future behavior. So I want to bring in very quickly a quote from Brene Brown, who I think really dives into this just a little bit deeper, and she said, "Healthy striving is self-focused, how can I improve? Whereas perfectionism is other-focused, what will they think?"
So you mean whenever I'm exploring my why, I should really be focused on improving myself and not how others perceive me, even though that my behavior is interpreted by others and influencing their perception of me.
That's right, because it depends on who's coming first. So in healthy growth, you say, I want to do this because I can be better prepared and spread more joy and love into the world for others, as opposed to others coming first, where it's, what do I have to do to please people? What do I have to do to be perceived as kinder? What do I have to do to be perceived as nicer so that they see me better? That's where it's others focused. We need to be us focused.
So our why should be rooted in being self-focused on our personal growth and improvement.
Absolutely.
Okay, are you ready for question 2?
Here we go.
Here we go. How could I have responded differently? This is where you re-walk the experience in your mind and relive moment by moment, word by word, interaction by interaction, body language, any physical communication, verbal communication, really analyze the event and the experience by reliving it. Then, question 3. This is the critical part that influences you responding differently in the future. This is, what can I do differently next time? So relive that event, but this time, change the story. Imagine that your best self, the self that's filled with all of the amazing self-love that you have inside, imagine that self showing up to the same challenging situation and relive it with yourself responding differently. This will actually influence your brain's ability to recreate that situation in the future. So as you face challenging situations, your brain's already rehearsed it. You have, if you rehearse it out loud, you have oral rehearsal to rely on, or if you rehearse it in your mind's eye, you have a visual rehearsal to rely on in the brain, which will improve how you interact in those challenging situations in the future.
And even rehearsing it with someone that you love and trust can sometimes be really beneficial, and doing both of those and combining them so that you have that visual representation and you've also practiced it orally.
So this week we challenge you to find stillness for reflection and to really sit, replay this vidcast as often as you need to revisit those 3 critical questions, why, how, and what, and reframe that experience so that you can show up with your best, most loved version of yourself in future challenges.
Go out and spread love and joy into the world, and we'll see you next week. Take care.